there seems to be a movement in the world right now where people are kind of realizing they're over this left versus right thing, this centralized corrupt thing, and they want people to govern with them and include them in the process. And one of your stated priorities as a candidate was that you want to invest in young people to improve the neighborhoods.
Right.
And we're seeing a lot of these younger generations like Gen Z becoming very active in politics in the last decade, but not in the traditional ways that we are used to. Maybe you're in my generation. And these younger people are using technology to communicate. Like, I teach jujitsu and I'm very impressed with how informed this younger generation is. But also around the world, I've seen some amazing movements of people that happen very fast using technology. And it's usually coming from Gen Z or younger generations. A couple examples were the Sunflower Revolution with Audrey Tang, and that happened in Taiwan. So the students set up they want transparency. They want to know what's going on with their government. So they set up a digital way to kind of look into government and in real time relay that to the nation so that the rules weren't being taken advantage of, in this case, by the Chinese Communist Party, the CCP there. But even more recently, just a couple of weeks ago in Nepal, they overthrew their entire government using basically Discord and an anime meme. They use these memes to kind of symbolize that they were sick of the corruption, and that the younger generation came together and they elected their new leader on Discord, using Discord. Now, is this probably the best way? I don't know, but I do love the ability of the people to actually have a voice and a say in their governance and a say in who's really representing them. Right. It would seem that the younger generations for this case might be just primed for an independent candidate. I know that a lot of people that I talk to are just sick of it. And if your message can get through to them that, we're going to be focused on better systems, we're going to be focused on transparency, we're going to be focused on ways to govern with, not govern over, power with, not power over. I think these are messages that a lot of people will resonate with. Maybe could you explain some ways that you would like to reach the younger generations, the ones that seem to be the most fed up with the left versus right paradigm and the labels that are dividing us? How do you see yourself reaching this younger generation?
Well, I think that the way we're doing it is the way we're doing it now. The difference between, I've been involved, on the sidelines of politics, not personally as a candidate or anything, but I've done a lot supporting other candidates before I came to Buffalo. And, there was a lot of reliance during those days in the early 2000s and even in the 90s on traditional media sources. And, the benefit today, and there's, social media gets a lot of flack because, anybody can publish and, there's not fact checking always. But the greatest thing is that it really does give voice to so many people, and you're able to communicate ideas much more rapidly and much more efficiently than we've ever seen in modern modern human history. So that is what gives me hopefulness about this process. And I also think that, being an independent at this point in time, it's not just the Democrats. People are pissed off in general about all parties, because what the parties have done is they've divided us. They've pushed us further into our corners. And, I think getting kicked off the ballot was the greatest service that the Democratic Party could have done for me, because it really did liberate me from that label. And we've talked a little bit about this, Josh, about labels and how they're dividing. They're used as a tool to divide people. As soon as you, self-identify as a socialist, as a conservative, as a business person or a developer, even, people immediately make these assumptions about what you're really about. And as soon as they make those assumptions, it's almost like a switch turns off, right? Like they're not as receptive to your ideas or the things that you're sharing, or the solution that you may have because of that label, because of their assumption, because of their bias, because of their own mental block with their past, their baggage with that label. And I think when we bring independent ideas and we really focus on solutions and we focus on problem solving and we focus on how to bring as many people to the table as possible. Because when we bring those people, we bring ideas, we bring strength, we bring solutions, we bring energy, right? How many movements have we seen that started but squandered, because they didn't have enough energy. They didn't have enough, the thrust. They didn't have a large consensus, and I think that that's where having being truly independent and being committed on a vision and on a purpose and on a direction is more powerful than focused on a party or a label. And that's really the focus and the hopefulness that I bring. And I hope one that I think speaks to young people as well.
I think it will. The young people that I see are very in tune to this kind of thing. And I talk about this a lot myself, that I challenge anyone to show me a time in history where there was tyranny without a group label first. So it's not just labels. Some labels that have merit, like, you are whatever, you're a corrupter, you corrupt systems. That's a merit-based label. I'm labeling you because of something that you've done. But when I say that, I'm a Democrat, I'm a Republican, or these group labels that don't come with merit, these cause problems. And in the history of the world, all tyranny requires the others. And the others is a group label. Mm-hmm. And, you studying collective intelligence and group creativity and group problem solving, we are finding that tyranny goes in this order. It starts off with group labels. Group labels lead to echo chambers. Echo chambers leads to groupthink. And then groupthink leads to tyranny, in that order. So if you cut off the group labels and just say, hey, we're one people, we're one community, we're one neighborhood. Yeah, we have difference of opinions, but let's solve this problem one at a time. When you do this and you use things like collective intelligence systems, you can take very divisive topics and get answers. You're not going to get an answer that's in line with the Democrats or the Republicans. What you're going to get is answers that the people have high confidence scores that we should implement, that are unique and much different than these two political parties are offering, because the power isn't coming from the top down. It's coming from everyone behind it. And then on top of that, all the people will kind of self-police these policies because they want to see them succeed because you gave them a voice. So all these things, I think that younger generation is definitely in tune to. I'm seeing them, asking for things like, why isn't there interactive data, and why isn't there dashboards the public can be constantly looking at, budget tracking on blockchain? Why isn't there real-time communication channels between the people that are running our government and their representative, or the representatives and the constituents? Why isn't there communication? Why isn't, when they write a bill, they ask the people like how they think about the bill, right? You're supposed to be representing the people, but what tools do we have to even communicate with our representatives? These tools don't exist. So my question for you would be, if you get into office, would you think it would be wise to use some government funds to make the ability for constituents to communicate with the representatives better and govern with?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that, I am